The bold and the beautiful preview for the week of December 8th reveals the Logan and Spencer families will gather for Hope Logan and Liam Spencer's wedding. Also coming up, Sheila Carter will be furious she wasn't invited to the nuptials. Plus, Eric Forrester pushes back at Ridge Forrester. B&B spoilers tease Eric has had it with Ridge. On Friday's B&B, he walked into a surprise retirement party that his son had arranged, without his knowledge. Eric realized Ridge was forcing him out of the company, but he'll refuse to retire. Meanwhile, as Hope and Liam prepare to get married, Sheila will learn she's not on the guest list. No doubt, Deacon Sharp will break the bad news to his wife. Sheila will be so angry that she'll visit Taylor Hayes for advice. In fact, she'll confide in the psychiatrist that she plans to attend the wedding, even though she wasn't invited. Crashing the wedding would be a crazy thing to do, Taylor tells her in the B&B weekly preview, and Sheila will take defense. "You think I'm crazy?" she'll ask. Over at the Spencer estate, Donna Forrester will take a photo of her, Hope, Katie Logan, and Brooke Forrester. The Logan sisters will be thrilled that Hope is putting her family with Liam back together. Downstairs, the guests will arrive ease, and they'll include Liam's daughter, Kelly Spencer, and Hope's son, Douglas Forrester. However, will he be alone, or will Thomas Forrester be with him? Regardless, Deacon will walk his daughter down the aisle. Then Hope and Liam's daughter, Beth Spencer, will officiate the ceremony. "Welcome to the wedding of the year," Beth will say, smiling up at her parents. But will Sheila show up and cause a scene? Stay tuned! Hey B&B fans! Are you enjoying the latest CBS Sudser Beyond the Gates? Then make sure you join our free Facebook group. Keep reading the Soap Scoop, your source for the latest soap opera spoilers and B&B spoilers and news. And make sure to also join our B&B Facebook group. But if you miss an episode, don't fret. You can watch The Bold and the Beautiful online at cbs.com. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers for Monday, December 8th reveal that Eric Forrester will have a meltdown over Ridge Forrester not listening and will refuse to be forced out. Although Eric's been hoping to restart his designer career, Ridge and the others moved forward with the surprise retirement party anyway. Eric clearly felt betrayed and tried to take a firm stance against retiring, but Ridge stood his ground too. On Monday's B&B episode, Eric will fly into a rage since Ridge isn't listening to what he wants. Since this is a trend for Ridge, Eric will blow up at his son and create quite a scene. Ridge will rush to his own defense, but Eric will insist he's not going to be put out to pasture. What gives Ridge the right to say when Eric has to retire and step away from the company he's poured so much of himself into? Brooke Logan Forrester, Donna Logan Forrester, Daphne Rose, Carter Walton, and Steffi Forrester. Finnegan will all be on hand to witness more conflict. Although some of them will no doubt pipe up and try to ease the tension, Eric will be hopping mad and ready to fight. Ridge will keep trying to act like he's looking out for Eric's health, but Eric may think this is about his son's ego more than anything else. It seems like Ridge wants to run the show and feels threatened by Eric's attempt to get back in the action. Ridge is treating Eric like a child as a result, so it's easy to see why Eric will remain so furious. The father-son drama will really spiral out of control, so there'll be plenty of chaos playing out in the Forrester Creations CEO office. Do you think it's fair for Ridge to treat Eric this way? What will Eric do now that Ridge is digging his heels in The Bold and the Beautiful? Spoilers say there'll be more Forrester family problems to contend with, so stick with us for updates on any other bad news that's brewing. CDL will have other exciting Bold and the Beautiful spoilers, news and updates to read up on, so drop by often for more B&B info. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers hint that Remy Price may take over Luna Nozawa's psycho spot. Will Remy backslide over Deke Sharp's final rejection? After Deke got updates on all the horrible things Remy did to Electra Forrester, he was definitely rattled. Deke didn't think Remy was capable of causing so much pain and destruction until his eyes were opened. Remy begged for a chance to prove he'd changed and promised to keep working on himself in therapy. Deke means a lot to Remy, who claims he's willing to do whatever it takes to score a fresh start. Deke couldn't commit to anything and pushed for time to mull over everything he'd learned. At the moment, Deke still hasn't taken Remy back, so Remy is stuck in limbo while he gives him some space. However, you can bet that Remy is struggling without Deke around. Plus, Luna was presumably Remy's only friend, so he's probably having a hard time with the news of her demise, too. In other words, Remy is in a fragile state and may be getting worse instead of better. The longer Remy's apart from Deke, the more desperate he may become. Unfortunately, Deke's issues with Sheila Sharp could influence his opinion on the situation with Remy. After Sheila pushed Deke to see that she'd changed, he grew frustrated and wondered why this was such a recurring theme in his life. Sheila will likely revert to bad behavior once her romance with Deacon Sharp falls apart, so Deke may come to believe that breaking a wicked pattern is impossible. In other words, Deke may decide that if Sheila can't change for the better, then Remy can't either. If Deke eventually makes his breakup with Remy official and insists they don't have a future anymore, Remy could go off the rails next. B&B viewers saw Remy's villainous side during all the Electra drama and may see him head down a terrible road once again. Deke may be Remy's new obsession, so Remy could fill Luna's role as a lunatic who's driving the story with some disturbing actions. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers say Remy could be a real wild card, so stay tuned for all the twists and turns ahead. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers for the next 2 weeks, December 8th to December 19th, hint that Deacon Sharp will be furious over Sheila Sharp ruining the marriage celebration. Taylor Hayes may also be at risk as Sheila slips closer to the edge. The week of December 8 to 12 will bring Eric Forrester's wrath and refusal to stand for Ridge Forrester's retirement demand. This is Eric's life to live, so he'll fight back in a big way and stir up even more family drama. On a happier note, Hope Logan and Liam Spencer's loved ones will gather at the Spencer Mansion to watch them get hitched. Douglas Forrester will return for the big event, so Hope will be thrilled to see him. After Deacon Sharp walks Hope down the aisle, Beth Spencer will perform her officiant duties. The wedding will be a lovely occasion, but could some crash or chaos erupt soon enough? Since that Sheila Sharp won't be invited to the nuptials, B&B spoilers say she'll complain to Taylor Hayes and hint about going anyway. Taylor will try to explain why crashing would be a crazy plan, but that'll just rile Sheila up even more and leave her questioning if Taylor thinks she's crazy. By the time this conversation wraps up, Taylor may be pretty unsettled. There's a good chance Sheila will reject Taylor's advice and become a wedding crasher anyway. That could lead to Deacon fuming over the interruption, especially if he feels Sheila ruined his daughter's special day. Deacon might go as far as dumping Sheila over this and running straight into Taylor's arms for a kiss. Whatever the case, Sheila may have regrets by the time the week of December 15th and 19th rolls around. Even if Sheila tries to fix things with Deacon, he may dig his heels in and fall even harder for Taylor. If Sheila realizes Deacon and Taylor are falling for each other, she could make Taylor her #1 enemy. As for Hope and Liam, they won't let Sheila stop them from basking in the afterglow of their nuptials. Liam and Hope are sure to have a magical wedding night, so stay tuned for updates on any passionate plans to come. Of course, Christmas is just around the corner, so there'll be some holiday prep work eventually. As for the conflict between Eric and Ridge, can they resolve it in time for the annual festivities? Meanwhile, Carter Walton may finally convince Daphne Rose to trust in their romance and believe he could be the right man for her. However, Daphne's history could come back to haunt her and stir up some problems with Carter sooner or later. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers say the next 2 weeks will bring some shocking news and romantic gestures, so stay tuned. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers hint that Steffi Forrester Finnegan may force a family intervention. Will this fierce Forrester take charge as a crisis hits hard? Steffi has been breathing a sigh of relief lately since Sheila Sharp is behaving for now, and Luna Nozawa is finally out of the picture. Although Steffi has sympathy when it comes to John Finnegan's loss, she's also glad Luna no longer poses a threat. Steffi was looking forward to just enjoying the peace for a change, but she'll ultimately get some troubling updates. The next crisis may not be as extreme as everything that happened with Luna, but it could still weigh heavily on Steffi's heart. There could be a situation coming up that'll force Steffi to take control and try to stop things from getting worse. Now that Eric Forrester and Ridge Forrester disagree about Eric's future, there's going to be lots more family drama on B&B. Although Ridge would like to see Eric retire, and take a step back from all the corporate chaos, Eric still feels he has a lot of gas left in the tank. Eric wants to get back to designing and make some real contributions at Forrester Creations again. So Ridge's decision to stand against that will force everyone to pick sides. Steffi may be torn about which side she's on for a couple reasons. Part of Steffi may worry about Eric from a medical standpoint and fear that he's going to overdo it. Another part of Steffi may think Eric's feelings should be respected since he helped make Forrester Creations what it is today. Regardless, Steffi won't like all the infighting and may make it her mission to resolve it. His could turn into a family intervention where Steffi demands Eric and Ridge reach a compromise. Of course, there's no guarantee that plan would work, but Steffi might try it anyway. Steffi will certainly want Ridge and Eric to get along if possible, so she may insist on taking drastic action to resolve the conflict. The Bold and the Beautiful, spoilers say Steffi will land in the middle of all the family strife. So stick with us for any other big Forrester-related news. On the Friday, December 5th, 2025 episode of The Bold and the Beautiful, everyone gathered for Eric's retirement party, while Eric rejected Ridge's plan to force him out. Finn and Steffi made out in one of the design rooms, and she was excited that he surprised her with a visit. Finn asked if everything was in place for Eric's surprise party, but Steffi worried about how her grandfather would react. Steffi thought it had been ages since Eric's final fashion show, and although she understood where her father was coming from, that didn't change how she felt about Eric. Steffi believed that Eric had earned his retirement, and she agreed it had taken too much out of him. He understood Steffi's concern, and he assured her that she wasn't coming from a malicious place. All Steffi wanted was a peaceful, stress-free existence for her grandfather. Finn believed that Eric was potentially more receptive to the idea of retiring than anyone in their family believed. If Ridge thought it was the right move for his father, perhaps Eric would see things his way as well. Steffi knew that Eric wouldn't like it, but she believed it was time for Eric to ride off into the sunset. Eric sketched some new designs in the Forrester showroom after declaring his intentions to return to the team. Donna interrupted with a stunning design that her husband had left at home. Although there wasn't a complete collection in place, it was enough to showcase to Ridge as proof that he was ready for a comeback. Eric walked Donna through the designs to show her that he could evolve with the times and keep up with emerging fashion trends. Donna discussed how much Eric had worked and how the house had been overtaken by his renewed passion for his craft. However, she expressed concern about the toll it took on his health. He cut her off and told her she sounded too much like Ridge. It was one thing to hear that from his son, but he wouldn't listen to it from his wife. He didn't want Donna to criticize his plan for his future. As Eric's wife, Donna couldn't help but worry about the impact it had on him. She reminded him that he didn't come to bed until 3 in the morning, so this was taking up a substantial amount of time. However, she told him that she didn't need him to sell her on anything. Donna knew exactly who the great Eric Forrester was, but while that was true, she needed him to slow down a bit. Eric agreed to slow things down, to ease his wife's growing levels of anxiety. Donna believes that Ridge would come around and see the vision he had for the couture. She thought it was disappointing that Ridge needed to be reminded of his father's talents. As much as Donna wished they had more travel time, she stood by her husband's decision to return to work. He asked if she believed in him, and she responded, "I am always Team Eric." Brooke directed one of the interns with balloons to place them in a specific portion of the CEO's office. There was a happy retirement banner for Eric, and they needed an ice bucket with champagne to finalize the event plan. Ridge looked at an older photograph of him and his father, and he reminisced about his father pitching the showdown idea prior to the medical crisis that nearly claimed his life. Brooke didn't think Eric would react positively to the surprise retirement party. Ridge thought his father would eventually come around, even if it took some time. Ridge wanted his father to live longer, and in his mind, this was the best way to achieve it. Carter and Daphne arrived, and she came bearing a one-of-a-kind cologne for the Forrester founder. Ridge wanted to celebrate the man who made everything possible, but Daphne had some questions. She didn't think Eric should be forced to accept a retirement thrust upon him. Daphne explained that she came from a different culture and worried that it might come across as disrespectful to Eric. Brooke defended her husband, but Daphne insisted. She believed Eric had more left in the tank and asked them to consider the man himself and let him decide his own fate. Steffi and Finn joined the celebration, so Ridge asked Finn to chime in to defend his choices. Finn sided with Ridge on the medical reasoning, but Daphne seemed appalled. Ridge defended himself and said that it was too stressful for his father to remain at Forrester. He needed Eric to embrace this new chapter, and he downplayed the cultural differences. Steffi worried that Eric would fight the family on it, and Ridge vowed to fight back. Eric and Donna walked in, and everyone clapped for him and promised to celebrate him. Carter noticed Eric was speechless, and Brooke concurred. Steffi told him, "You had an incredible run." Ridge worked hard to sell his father on the idea, and he told Eric, "It is time for the master to rest." Eric told everyone in the room that designing was the #1 thing he wanted in life, and that he wouldn't give up until his dying day. He referred to his own legacy and refused to accept forced retirement. However, Ridge informed him that it would indeed happen. The bold and the beautiful preview video for the week of December 8-12 reveals that Sheila Sharp will consider a wedding crasher plot, so Taylor Hayes will warn against the crazy idea. B&B's weekly promo kicks off with Hope Logan's marriage ceremony prep, since she can be seen taking some pre-wedding pics with Brooke Logan Forrester, Katie Logan, and Donna Logan. The preview video also shows Will Spencer, Electra Forrester, Deke Sharp, and Bill Spencer turning to look at someone, so they may praise a dapper Liam's wedding attire once he appears. Since Beth Spencer is serving as the officiant, she'll eventually welcome everyone to the wedding of the year. Beth will be grinning from ear to ear as she prepares to help Liam and Hope tie the knot. It looks like Douglas Forrester is next to Brooke in the promo as well, so it's nice that he'll be able to make it home for Hope's nuptials. However, Sheila won't be on the guest list since she makes Beth uncomfortable. This is Hope and Liam's special day, so they'll leave Sheila out of it and plan to focus on their future as a couple. That news will leave Sheila fuming, so she'll vent to Taylor in her office. Sheila will end up slamming down a vase and looking like she's about to blow a gasket, especially after Taylor says crashing the wedding would be a crazy thing to do. "You think I'm crazy?" Sheila asks in B&B's weekly preview video. At Forrester Creations, Eric Forrester will complain over Ridge, Forrester never listening to a word he says. Ridge won't think that's true, but Eric will stand his ground and refuse to be put out to pasture. The bold and the beautiful spoilers reveal that there are at least 3 ways Hope Logan and Liam Spencer's wedding day could go wrong. Will Liam and Hope's happily ever after be in jeopardy thanks to some possible snags? Hope and Liam are finally on the same page about their future, so their wedding will indeed take place this December. Liam can't wait to make Hope his wife again, and hopefully make their relationship last forever this time around. However, it wouldn't be a soap marriage ceremony without a few problems along the way. There are bound to be some obstacles for Hope and Liam to conquer as they try to make this huge commitment. With that in mind, we should consider some possible story paths to drama. B&B may have a disaster or two coming up on Liam and Hope's wedding day, so here are some ways their nuptials could go wrong. 1. Thomas makes a last-minute reunion plea. For starters, Thomas Forrester's homecoming is happening this holiday season. What if Thomas returns in time to corner Hope and make a last-minute reunion plea before she ties the knot with Liam? After Thomas split from Paris Buckingham, perhaps he's been missing Hope and wishing he'd never walked away from her. Thomas might be desperate enough to beg Hope to get back together, depending on where his head is at these days. Then again, the show could still pull off some drama by delivering a fake-out. Thomas might seem like he's ready to derail the wedding festivities before simply wishing the happy couple well in the end. Regardless, Hope is all in on Liam and will stick with her chosen groom on her special day. 2. Deacon and Taylor's forbidden passion leaks. Deacon Sharp will be a proud dad at Hope's wedding, so he'll be full of strong emotions. This could lead to Deacon sharing a close moment with Taylor Hayes and perhaps failing to keep their true feelings under wraps. Could this be when Deacon and Taylor's forbidden passion will leak? Could someone spot Taylor and Deation kissing around the corner somewhere? That'd be an interesting way to shake things up on Liam and Hope's wedding day if Taylor attends along with Deacon. 3. Sheila causes a major scene. Of course, We can't forget about Sheila Sharp, since Beth Spencer doesn't want her at the ceremony at all. Even if Sheila doesn't get an invitation, she could crash the party and cause a major scene. If Sheila catches a glimpse of Deacon and Taylor looking too close for comfort, that could really set her off. Sheila has a knack for stirring up trouble and could threaten to send this wedding off the rails. Thankfully, the bold and the beautiful spoilers confirm Liam will indeed make Hope his wife once more, so we'll bring you updates on any other wedding-related news. No matter what chaos B&B might include on Liam and Hope's big day, it's good to know they'll definitely tie the knot. Katie and Bill are one of B&B's super couples. For 16 years, Bill and Katie have been entertaining the bold and the beautiful fans with their emotional love story. There's no denying that Heather Tom and Don Diamant's sizzling chemistry is what makes Beatty so popular. And as Tom explains, that type of chemistry isn't forced. Chemistry plays an important role in creating soap opera couples. If fans sense that physical and emotional connection, then they're going to root for the lovebirds. That's one of the reasons why Bill and Katie are popular with B&B viewers. Whenever Tom and Diamant are in a scene together, viewers can feel the bond between them, and their bond is just as strong off-screen as it is on-screen. In an interview with People, Tom calls Diamant her family and says they have a truthful relationship. The stars initially worked together on Y&R, where a romance was teased between their characters, Victoria and Brad. Even though they had great chemistry, Victoria and Brad never became a couple during Tom's run. However, when they reunited on B&B, Tom and Diamant finally got a chance to play a couple. Much like with Victoria and Brad, Katie and Bill proved to have incredible chemistry. And according to Tom, it's something that comes natural to her and Diamant. Sometimes I feel like you can certainly create chemistry and play it, but a lot of times it's just there, the actress explained. Tom calls her chemistry with Diamant organic and says she was all for a Beatty romance when the idea was pitched. So when he joined the show, I was just like, okay, put me with Donald. We work really well together. Try us together, she recalled. Like many B&B couples, Bill and Katie have faced their share of problems, most of which have split them. But Beatty fans are rejoicing because the couple recently reunited. Will's situation with Luna was a driving force in bringing Beatty together. Now that Luna's gone, the couple is ready to focus on their future. But Bill's plans for the future might cause issues between Katie and her family. Feeling frustrated and underappreciated at work, Bill offered Katie the opportunity to come to Spencer Publications. With Katie possibly moving to Spencer, it'll upset her sisters, Brooke and Donna. While her family's been supportive of Katie's reunion with Bill, the Logan sisters might change their tune after Bill's latest stunt. Eric is ready to show his new designs to Ridge, while his son and the rest of his family are planning his retirement. On The Bold and the Beautiful, on December 5th, 2025, Eric Forrester revealed his future plans, and they don't involve retirement. However, Ridge and his family are throwing him a surprise party without his wishes. In the CEO's office, Brooke and Ridge finalized the details of Eric's retirement party. Brooke was concerned about how Eric would react. She wondered if Eric was ready to walk away. Ridge argued that he wants to keep his dad alive for a long time, so now is a great time for Eric to retire. Will Eric's new crisis signal the end? Carter and Daphne walked into the office. Daphne created a new fragrance for Eric's retirement. However, she wondered whether he would accept the retirement party. Daphne didn't want to step on anyone's toes, especially since she's not a Forrester. But she felt that Eric should decide his future. Ridge assured her that they're doing what they think is right. Steffi and Finn entered to share their thoughts. As a doctor, Finn supported the decision. Yet, Steffi looked conflicted. In the showroom, Eric excitedly sketched away. Donna showed up with a sketch he left at home. Eric told his wife his plans to present his designs to Ridge and Brooke. He described the designs to Donna. She noticed they were inspired. Donna loved seeing Eric in his element, but she was concerned about him. Eric told her not to speak like that because she sounded like Ridge. Donna assured him that he didn't need to prove himself. She wanted him to find a happy medium in his life. Eric looked over his designs with a sense of pride on his face. Donna told Eric that Ridge needed to see his vision. Eric felt confident that his designs would take the fashion world by storm, but he also needed Donna to believe in him. She assured him that she loved his visions and supported them. Eric told Donna that it's the beginning of a new chapter at Forrester Creations. Later, Eric entered the CEO's office and everyone yelled, "Surprise!" Ridge told Eric that it was time for the master to rest. Eric wondered if he should be buried 6 feet under. He told Ridge that he wanted to design. It's something he cares about, and he's going to keep doing it until he dies. Eric is calling the shots on his future, not his son. Ridge threatened his father that he would retire. How will Eric strike back at his son on B&B? It'll be a week of romance, joy, and tension on B&B. Love and drama are in the air this week on The Bold and the Beautiful. The weekly video previews that one couple's wedding day might be interrupted, while tensions continue to arise in one family. Here's a sneak peek of what's ahead for December 8-12. It's a big week for Lope fans as their beloved couple, Hope and Liam, prepare to wed. Guests, including Bill, Katie, and Deke, arrive at Brooks for the wedding. Meanwhile, upstairs, an ecstatic Hope gets ready for the nuptials with help from Brooke, Katie, and Donna. After getting dressed, it's time for the ceremony to begin. Deacon escorts his daughter down the aisle to a smiling Liam. The couple's daughter, Beth, welcomes the guests as she begins officiating the wedding. From the looks of everything, it'll be a wedding that the Logans, the Spencers, and Lope fans won't ever forget. Unfortunately, one person didn't make the guest list for Lope's wedding. Hope's stepmother and Deacon's wife, Sheila, wasn't invited. The snub upsets Sheila, who goes to Taylor to vent. As Sheila paces the office, Taylor tries to calm her to no avail. When Sheila contemplates crashing the wedding, Taylor says it would be a crazy thing to do. This sets off Sheila, who then menacingly replies, "You think I'm crazy?" Taylor's already on Sheila's bad side because of Deacon, and now she may have poked the bear by calling Sheila crazy. Meanwhile, over at Forrester Creations, another feud is brewing between Eric and Ridge. Ridge feels it's time his dad retires, yet Eric feels he has more to offer in the design world. The disagreement over Eric's plans have the father and son arguing. Eric accuses Ridge of never listening to him, but Ridge fires back that he always listens to his dad. Eric then issues a warning to his son by saying he will not be out to pasture. With neither side backing down, it looks like a power struggle is emerging at FC. Will Eric reclaim his glory as the FC founder and head designer, or will Ridge succeed in his plan to oust his father? The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers reveal a preview clip has been released for the week of December 8th, 2025. It shows Eric Forrester refusing to retire. Hope Logan and Liam Spencer get married. Plus, Sheila Carter Sharp tells Taylor Hayes that she's going to crash the nuptials. Keep reading and let's talk about what is coming up in the CBS soap opera. Let's start from the beginning. First off, we see Beth Spencer, the little girl asked to officiate the wedding between her parents. Beth has put a lot of time and thought into this special occasion. However, she did have one request of her parents. That was for Sheila not to attend. Bill Spencer is there, Katie Logan, Brooke Logan Forrester, and Donna Logan. Forrester posed for pictures with Hope. There is also Will Spencer and Electra Forrester. Deacon Sharp finally gets to walk his daughter down the aisle. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers reveal that the weekly preview clip also features Sheila and Taylor. In Taylor's office at the hospital, the psychologist looks terrified. Taylor says that Sheila crashing the wedding would be a crazy thing to do. That is when Sheila slams down an object in Taylor's office. With fury in her eyes, Sheila asks if Taylor is calling her crazy. Uh-oh, this doesn't look good at all. At Forrester Creations, Eric blows up over being pushed to retire. The man yells that Ridge Forrester hasn't listened to a work he's said. However, Ridge claims he is hearing his father loud and clear. Then, Eric refuses to be put out to pasture. If Ridge and Steffi Forrester Finnegan both agree on this, does Eric have any say? I suppose it would depend on the business structure and who makes the final decision in cases like these. Many people might assume Eric makes the final decision, but it actually depends. Could Ridge and Steffi force him out for his own good? If that happens, Eric and Donna could have a big family feud. so stay tuned for all the excitement. Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most during the week of December 8th, 2025? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember to keep watching the soap on CBS or Paramount Plus to find out what happens next. The Bold and the Beautiful, spoilers say Electra Forrester is a hot commodity and the apple of all the local stalkers' eyes. Just a few weeks ago, Electra had to face off with her former stalker, Remy Price, and now she seems to have a new one. Here's what's happening next week on Bold and Beautiful, spoilers down below. Thanksgiving went south on the CBS soap when Electra Forrester got strange text messages and an unexpected visit from former Forrester Creations intern Dylan. You probably also recognized her from the fake art school on the beach. Apparently, she moonlights as Hayes' art teacher. Now Dylan is known for something else on The Bold and the Beautiful, the driver that hit and killed Luna Nozawa. And Dylan is making sure everyone knows that she's the driver that snuffed out evil Luna. In fact, some might even call it clout chasing. According to B&B spoilers, Dylan will continue to cling to Electra Forrester because she needs a friend. But viewers at home are starting to get suspicious of Dylan and her story. Plus, why did she feel the need to drag Electra into it? It seems like Dylan wants some sort of recognition for killing Luna and thought it would score her brownie points with Electra and the Forresters. Regardless, we can all agree that there is something seriously off with Hayes' old art teacher. Dylan acts a lot like Remy Price and has been living in Electra's shadow and picking up odd jobs playing art school. Is it possible that Dylan has been obsessing over Electra Forrester and her fairy tale life, just like Remy was? Is she using Luna's death to get closer to Electra? Is that why she is acting so strange? The Bold and the Beautiful always brings back a handful of cast members for the holidays, and this year is no exception. Matthew Atkinson is coming home for Christmas, which means he could be in town during the highly anticipated Lope wedding. Did Beth remember to butt him on the ban list? Has Thomas Forrester healed, or will he cause chaos on Liam Spencer and Hope Logan's wedding day? Keep reading to find out what's coming up next on Bold and Beautiful. Spoilers down below. Thomas Forrester's weird obsession with Hope Logan has been well documented on the CBS soap over the past decade. Matthew Atkinson's complicated character will never live down his blow-up doll days. Last year, Thomas finally gave up on his mission to marry Hope and moved to Paris. Imagine coming home and finding out that Hope wouldn't marry you, but she is marrying her ex-husband. The Bold and the Beautiful, viewers know that Thomas has always had a screw loose. Sometimes he's on point and sometimes he's unhinged. The last time Thomas popped up, he tried to assault his stepmom, Brooke Logan, and spiraled because his daddy didn't marry his mommy. Weddings are definitely a trigger for the unstable Forrester heir. According to B&B spoilers, Liam and Hope's daughter Beth is going to rush them down the aisle this month. Seeing as how everyone will be on hand for the holidays, it makes sense to squeeze in a quickie wedding in the next few weeks. Plus, when Hope learns Eric is dying, she will probably want to say "I do" before his health gets any worse. There's a very high probability that Thomas's return will coincide with Lope's wedding. Will Thomas cause a scene and try to stop Hope from saying "I do"? The Forresters will be rallying around a loved one. The Forresters are about to be hit with another health scare on The Bold and the Beautiful. While many are concerned about the well-being of their beloved patriarch Eric, it's another family member they should be worried about. Another Forrester family feud is brewing. And again, it's Eric and Ridge. Ridge and Brooke feel it's time for Eric to retire and leave the running of Forrester Creations to them. However, the FC founder has made it clear that he's not going anywhere. Eric and Ridge's latest battle is reminiscent of their 2023 feud, during which Eric thought he was dying. With recent spoilers saying the Forresters become concerned about Eric's health, speculation is that the family patriarch faces another medical crisis. However, a fan theory on Reddit suggests a twist in which Ridge is the one who suffers the health crisis. The theory points out recent dialogue that suggests trouble for Ridge. During a heartfelt talk with Ridge, he promised to love Brooke until his dying breath. Then Brooke mentioned Ridge has been stressed about work, and she feared he's becoming burnt out. Many fans seem to agree that something significant will happen to Ridge because of recent events. The dying breath remark struck me as a bellwether, wrote one viewer. Ridge could have a health crisis and not die, But if he were to die, I do wonder who would be next up for Brooke, one fan wrote. Ridge has a lot on his plate with his duties as co-CEO and couture designer. When Eric offered to help, Ridge rejected the offer, which reignited the father-son feud. Aside from work and arguing with his dad, Ridge is also fighting with Bill. Bill, who's trying to woo Katie away from FC to Spencer Publications, is angering Ridge. The feud with Bill and his other added stress isn't good for Ridge. If he's not careful, then he might end up in the hospital with a heart attack or another illness. Having Ridge be the one who's sick would be a shocking twist. Plus, it would open the potential for emotional storytelling as the Forresters gather by his bedside. Will Brooke have to say a final goodbye to her destiny? Will one of the Forresters step up to help Ridge? These are many of the questions that will be asked if Ridge has a medical crisis. The Bold and the Beautiful recap is in for Friday, December 5th, 2025. In today's episode, Eric Forrester is blindsided. John Finn Finnegan tries to reassure Steffi Forrester Finnegan. Plus, Daphne Rose has a gift for a special man, but it's not Carter Walton. In the showroom, Donna Logan Forrester greets Eric. Donna brought what he asked for. Eric says that it's not an entire collection, but Ridge Forrester will change his mind once he sees these designs. Donna is worried. Eric says she is starting to sound like Ridge. Donna is worried about the added stress. It's important that he also relaxes. Eric says he can do that. Eric gets a text from Ridge. He's wanted in the office. Eric is so excited to show his son these designs. Meanwhile, Ridge brings in an ice bucket and champagne into the office. There is a chocolate cake on the conference room table. Ridge thinks about the last time Eric got intense about working. It was when he was dying. Ridge is worried. It's why he's doing this, before the job kills his dad. Carter and Daphne enter. Daphne brought a special cologne for a one-of-a-kind man. Ridge reminds everyone what the party is about. Daphne wonders if Eric really has to accept this. Daphne doesn't mean to be rude. Things are done differently in France. They view elders with a lot of respect and reverence. Nothing like this. Daphne thinks Eric should be able to decide his own future. In another office, Sin kisses. Finn can tell something is off. Steffi is just worried about how her grandfather is going to take this retirement surprise. Finn explains that's why Ridge wants his father to retire now. Eric's health should be his first priority. Finn says that she is coming from a place of love. Finn thinks Eric will eventually understand. Steffi is worried that Eric isn't going to accept the retirement party very well. However, she agrees with Ridge. It's time for Eric to close this chapter. Everyone gathers in the office. Eric enters and is shocked to find out that he's retiring. Eric says he and Stephanie Forrester built FC from the ground up. Eric decides what to do. He refuses to participate in the retirement party, but Ridge says he has no choice. Bold and the Beautiful spoilers reveal that on Thursday, December 4th, Ridge Forrester once again pushes Eric Forrester out of Forrester Creations. Eric wanted to rejoin the design team to take some of the workload off of Ridge. However, after trying every way possible to sway Ridge's opinion, he still refused. Ridge reminds Eric that his final line almost put him in the grave. Ridge is not about to allow Eric to put himself in jeopardy again. Ridge is in charge, and he is happy to accept that responsibility and the pressure of his job. Ridge gets a message and simply walks away from Eric, ending their conversation. Although Eric wasn't finished with their talk, Eric is completely heartbroken as he watches everyone going about their day. Out with the old, in with the new, Eric thinks to himself. Eric didn't want to leave. Eric has not put down his sketching pencil. However, no one is giving Eric a say in the matter. Donna Logan isn't getting anywhere either. Donna declares he'll be a designer till his dying day. In the front office, Eric begins going through his things like he is ready to pack them up and give up. However, Eric may also have something else in mind. In 2024, McCook told Soaps.com, "I'll be working right up until they drag me out of here. I celebrate, privately, every day that I have this job. It's fun, it's creative, I like the people that I work with. After my lovely wife and wonderful children, it's the next thing that I'm grateful for. This job, and the work that I'm fortunate enough to get to do. McCook goes on to say, I joke that one day they're going to have to call my wife, he added, and say, come get him. Because until I can no longer remember lines or have some kind of physical limitation, I have no reason to stop working. With that being said, perhaps Eric will open up a new fashion house as a rivalry against Forrester Creations. Will Eric give Ridge some real competition? Ridge may feel like he is doing the right thing, but obviously that is not what Eric wants. Eric could surely have a few designers to jump ship and join his new venture. Will Eric finally show Ridge that he has not designed his last and give him some well-deserved competition? Keep watching to see what happens. The Bold and the Beautiful recap for Friday, December 5th, reveals that there was a surprise retirement party disaster as Ridge Forrester said Eric Forrester as done at their family's business. In the Forrester showroom, Eric prepared some sketches to give Ridge and Brooke Logan Forrester a taste of what the new collection would look like. Despite Ridge's recent pushback, Eric gushed to Donna Logan Forrester about his plan and clearly thought he was going to win his son over along with Brooke. Donna voiced a little concern since Eric was up until 3 a.m. working last night. Although Donna didn't want Eric to overdo it and stress himself out too much, he made it clear that being a designer was what he wanted. In the end, Donna got Eric to take a break from his sketches and agreed his new couture collection was going to be a hit. Meanwhile, Brooke and Ridge moved forward with Eric's surprise retirement party plans, so fans saw a banner along with balloons, cake, and a bottle of bubbly in the CEO office. As for Steffi Forrester Finnegan, she canoodled with John Finn Finnegan during his design office visit. Although Steffi had concerns about Eric's reaction to this retirement push, she thought it was for the best. Finn knew Eric might not agree, but he hoped everyone could convince him if they came from a place of love and gratitude. Next on Friday's B&B episode, Daphne Rose showed up ahead of the party with some cologne as a gift for Eric. Carter Walton was also there to help celebrate the end of Eric's career. Although Daphne knew how much Ridge loved his dad, she piped up in support of Eric and implied this was disrespectful. Daphne urged Ridge to consider whether Eric had a right to make decisions about his own future. After Finn and Steffi made their way to the CEO office next, Ridge summoned Eric via text. Back with Eric, he got confirmation that Donna believed in him and looked forward to a brand new chapter at Forrester Creations. Unfortunately, Eric walked into his surprise retirement party with Donna by his side moments later. Although Ridge felt it was time for Eric to pack it up after an amazing run, Eric shut down that idea. Eric wanted to decide his legacy for himself, so he rejected retirement and said he wasn't doing this. Ridge insisted Eric was indeed doing this, so there was plenty of tension in the makeshift party room. The BO this could turn into an even bigger Forrester feud, so we'll bring you updates on any other major news involving the company. CDL will have other fantastic, bold, and the beautiful spoilers, news and updates, so make us your top B&B source. Bold and the beautiful spoilers for December 8-12, 2025 suggest Eric Forrester is enraged and Taylor Hayes being wowed by something. As we always do on early edition day, we start with what's coming the rest of this week, and then we'll talk about what is coming next week. With that in mind, Wednesday, December 3rd, we've got Bill Spencer ranting at Ridge Forrester for how dismissive he and Brooke Logan were to Katie Logan. Interestingly, I saw a bunch of comments on Soap social media with people saying that Katie was being extra and kind of dramatic, being so butthurt about this external PR firm, when realistically, she probably shouldn't be handling PR on a matter that's closely involved with her son. Katie feels like Ridge and Brooke are not listening to her or supporting her, and then this external PR firm comes in, and Brooke and Ridge are basically making Katie feel irrelevant. So, Bill may tell Ridge that he's just going to take Katie. I wonder if Brooke and Ridge will actually encourage Katie to go to Spencer Publications, because Ridge was actually talking about Bill being good to Katie right now. So if they tell her, you know, if you want to think about it, I think Katie might get even saltier with them, and she might actually go. Later, Donna Logan surprises Brooke. She gives her an update about Eric, and it looks like her honey bear is having some health problems. Of course, Brooke would likely run this news to Ridge if he hasn't already heard it straight from Eric himself. Hopefully, his cancer isn't back, but there are a lot of other things it could be. Honey Bear is not exactly a spring chicken. Thursday, December 4th, we've got Deacon Sharp enjoying some family time with his kids, Hope Logan and Deke Sharp. Of course, Deke and Hope are super happy to be working together, and she's happy that they will both be at her wedding, which is coming in December, by the way. But at the same time, they are very concerned about Deacon, and they really want him to give Sheila Carter the boot. To them, it looks like they completely put their marriage back together. But little do they know, Deacon is of the same mind about giving Sheila the boot and plugging somebody else into his life. However, I don't think he's going to tell his kids he's crushing on Taylor. Deacon might give them some glimmer of possibility if he starts talking up Taylor and about how much he really likes their therapy sessions, how much she's helping him, and how much admiration he has. If he gets really effusive with all those compliments about Taylor, Deke and Hope might start to think, hey, there might be something there. Also on Thursday, Ridge is telling Eric, you know what, Dad? Go right off into the sunset. Enjoy yourself. With the implication of enjoying the time you have left. Ridge is telling Eric that that's what he'd do if he was in the same position, but Eric is going to snap at Ridge impatiently. I'm very worried we're about to get another depressing Eric dying near-death Christmas storyline ahead. That is not a present I want to unwrap. Not at all. Hopefully, that's not what Brad Bell is delivering, but I don't trust him. Things are also going to get really heated with Eric and Ridge. As they continue this conversation, Eric may want to keep pursuing his passion, which is fashion, up until his very dying breath. Hopefully, he's not dying, and it's just some kind of little setback. But I'm guessing that Donna doesn't want Eric to risk his health by continuing to work. All of the Forresters and Logans may unite to pressure Eric to step back. I'm guessing he won't like that. Also, Deacon goes to visit Taylor, and their chemistry keeps growing. It's getting off the charts. Of course, Sheila thinks she and Deacon are solid, but the man wants Taylor, and Deacon is going to try super hard to make it happen. I'm cheering for his efforts. Friday, December 5th. On Bold and the Beautiful, we've got Steffi Forrester opening up to Finn Finnegan about this very deep connection that she and her granddad Eric share. So, it sounds like by now that Steffi also knows that Eric is having some kind of medical issue health crisis, and Steffi's very worried about her granddad's health. We'll see if he's being seen up at the hospital. Finn's not going to violate HIPAA to tell her things, but we'll find out. Eric's also one to go to hospitals off-screen. We've seen that when he was going through the cancer crisis. Finally, they brought one doctor to the house, and then late stage we had Bridget Forrester and Finn taking care of him and getting the miracle cure. So Finn should definitely be a consultant on this since he saved Eric's life before. And maybe that's what Steffi is asking. Can you look into this? Can you save my granddad? As a matter of fact, everybody is concerned about Eric's health issues by the end of this week. So I think Brooke is going to agree with Ridge that Eric needs to take a step back and focus on his health. Donna obviously wants to support Eric, but also wants him to take care of himself, and she wants to take care of him. Steffi is probably going to agree with her dad, Ridge, but if everybody is lining up with concern and compassion, Eric may still dig in his heels and think that they just want him out because he's the old guard. The following week, December 8th through the 12th, we've got Katie seriously considering working at Spencer Publications with Bill. I do wonder if Katie will try and take Will Spencer with her if she goes, but I think he's going to want to stay right up under Electra Forrester at FC. Tension continues to grow between Eric and Ridge, and possibly between Eric and other members of the family. You know how he gets when he's sick. He gets defensive. He starts covering up. He doesn't want to be transparent, and he just wants to bury his head in the sand and carry on. We may be getting a whole replay of that Ridge versus Eric thing we had when they ended up in a fashion battle. Eric's health takes priority for the Forresters and the Logans and is going to become the new front-burner topic that worries everybody heading into the holidays. But we also have happy news because there is a wedding to plan as well. Deacon and Hope continue discussing the state of Deacon and Sheila's marriage. I think that Hope and her brother may sense some fractures there that they might be able to widen those gaps and get their dad away from Sheila. Once they get an inkling that Deacon is interested in Taylor, that's going to be all she wrote. They're going to be scheming full stop. Speaking of him, Deacon is going to try and figure out how to win Taylor's heart. I'm confident Deacon can effectively woo her, unless Sheila figures it out and does something scary to stop it. Here's what I'm also hoping is that we do not have Katie and Eric both battling health crises at the same time. Everybody was so worried about Katie's heart, and they kept bringing it up. And I hope that was just a passing mention and something they're not going to circle back around to. Wedding planning heats up. Hope and Liam Spencer will be married by the end of December. So watch for Hope to start talking wedding gowns with her brother, and what role he and Deacon will play in her wedding. Bold and the Beautiful displays Ridge Forrester overstepping and trying to shove Eric Forrester out the door. It seems like a war may start soon, and Ridge has a bunch of people really mad at him. And if the way he's treated Eric messes with his dad's health, there might be an angry mob coming for Ridge. Let's get into what could happen now that Ridge has gone too far with Eric. We could see a new rival fashion house rise up, and a lot of others on B&B could be wrapped up in the drama. I don't know about you, but when I heard Ridge and Brooke Logan talking about throwing Eric a surprise retirement party, my jaw just about dropped. A surprise retirement party thrown by Brooke and Ridge is okay if the party is the surprise and not the other part. But it sure sounds like Ridge is planning to surprise his dad, Eric, by forcibly retiring him against his will and throwing a party as a consolation prize. As Ridge shoves Eric out the door, it sounds like Brooke and Ridge are planning to say, "Surprise, Eric, you're retired," which is basically saying you're fired. And of course, Brooke's just standing there smiling like whatever Ridge does is fine because, he's her destiny. Anyway, he's clearly doing Eric dirty, and Brooke is enabling it. In one regard, I do see Ridge's side. 2 years ago, Eric was super sick, but he insisted on completing his final collection for the fashion challenge. This was before Ridge even knew his dad was dying. And then he found out he was sick, and they weren't telling each other the truth. Ridge won the challenge, but he lied and told Eric he won because his dad was dying. And then he didn't die. Since then, Eric's actually been back up at FC doing design work here and there, on Hope for the Future and other projects. But in the end, I think Ridge thinks that Eric has nothing left to offer. Ridge keeps telling Eric that he designed his last collection, just right off into the sunset. As far as Ridge is concerned, he thinks he's the best designer at FC. He thinks he doesn't need Eric in any professional sense. This is the man who taught Ridge everything he knows, and he's being totally dismissed. When Eric tried to talk to him, Ridge acted too busy and too important, just above it all, and was just paying lip service to his dad. Never forget, Eric and Stephanie Forrester co-founded the company, and it was Eric's designs that made FC a worldwide brand, not Ridge's. By the time he came along, Eric was a world-renowned designer genius, and Ridge was just a kid learning to sketch. So now he's disrespecting Eric, and we're seeing Ridge shoving his dad out. Not only is Eric not happy with Ridge, neither is his wife, Donna Logan. She was giving major side-eye to Brooke when she pretty much agreed that Eric needs to step aside and just leave the building. Go play pickleball. Go take a cruise. Whatever. You can do what you want. You just can't do it here. So, we've got Donna and Eric both really irritated with Ridge, but they're not the only ones. Bill Spencer is on fire about how Ridge is treating Katie Logan. I will say, Ridge and Brooke seem to have the best intentions trying to help Katie, but they are also being pushy and presumptuous and not looping her in. At the same time, I do think Katie is being a little hypersensitive. But then again, she's like a raw nerve right now because the whole Will Spencer and Luna Nozawa thing has been really stressful for Katie. So, she wanted to focus on work, but when she went up there, Brooke and Ridge had taken that from her, thinking they're doing her a favor. They're just making decisions for people without consulting them, thinking that they know best. When Katie went crying to Bill about it, of course, he came unglued. I mean, Ridge simply breathing and existing rubs Dollar Bill the wrong way. And now, he is on fire because Ridge devalued Katie's role at Forrester and hurt her feelings. So, Bill confronted Ridge this week, and things got really tense because he hates Bill too. When Katie told Ridge she didn't feel appreciated, he gave Katie some lip service, a little bit of reassurance, but he was more focused on insulting Bill and kicking him out of the Forrester Creations building. But is Katie about to follow Bill out the door and never return? At the same time, we have Donna also annoyed at Brooke and Ridge. And we're seeing Eric, John and Katie both feeling dismissed and unappreciated. Plus, there have been hints that Eric's health might be an issue again, and it could be Ridge stressing him out with this retirement push that actually triggers it. But an interesting new project could turn it around and give Eric something to live for. And I really hope Bold goes in this direction. Right now, Bill wants Katie and Will to come work at Spencer Publications. So all of this dual family drama with the Logans, the Spencers, and the Forresters, could it coalesce into something that is fresh and a twist? That would be great. Something like a competing fashion house. We haven't seen Ridge having to fight off a competitor in quite some time. And I think it would be really wild if Bill was so annoyed with Ridge that he decided to launch a new division of Spencer, a fashion house. After all, Eye on Fashion was their flagship publication, so Bill's company has been fashion adjacent for decades. You could see a fashion division as a natural evolution. And I think with Ridge being so cocky and self-important, everybody that he's annoyed might band together to work against him. Donna, Eric, Katie, Bill, and others. Eric could be the lead designer for this project. Katie could do the PR. Donna could do whatever it is that she does. You know, wear tight sweaters and make dirty jokes about Honey. Her expertise there. Also, with Liam Spencer and Hope Logan getting married later this month, Bill might be able to recruit his new daughter-in-law, Hope, to bring her line over to Spencer. That means Zenda Forrester Dominguez might actually follow since he's working at Forrester Creations, but he has been working on Hope for the future, mostly, and has felt sidelined before by the Forresters. And my gosh, if Bill and Katie press on Will, he might join them in this new fashion venture at Spencer, and he could tempt Electra Forrester to leave Forrester and join them and have her own jewelry line. Will could be the intern, as useful as Donna is delivering mail and whatnot. A lot of Bold and the Beautiful fans have been dying to see a competing fashion house taking on Forrester Creations. That was the key to some really hot plots in the past on B&B, like when Jackie had her line and she stole designers and the limelight. Then there was Spectra Fashions, which was a hoot, both with Sally Spectra and her namesake aunt. But with a cast as small as it is on Bold and the Beautiful, it would be hard for them to bring in all these outside people to make it happen. That's why Bill investing in a fashion division would be amazing, because we could get the same thing but using the same cast. I would totally be down to see Eric heading up a Spencer fashion house and grinding Ridge into the dirt. It's especially important if Eric's health takes a turn, because Ridge is trying to force him into retirement, because this could turn things around, like I said, and give Eric something to live for. If Bold and the Beautiful did a rival fashion house under the Spencer umbrella, it could rip Forrester Creations in two, push father from son, put sister against sister, and create some big drama that would make B&B really, really worth watching. The Bold and the Beautiful, spoilers for Monday, December 8th, suggest some major drama. For one thing, Eric Forrester refuses to be forced into retirement. Sheila Carter-Sharp explodes over being banned from the wedding. That leads to Taylor Hayes being cornered. Keep reading. And let's talk about what to expect when the next episode airs on CBS. Let's start with Eric, who was blindsided by a retirement party. The patriarch has no intention of putting down the pencil and retiring, although he did agree with Donna Logan Forrester that he would find time to relax. However, all of Eric's hard work on those designs was for nothing. Eric was summoned to the office and thought for sure Ridge Forrester would change his mind. But Eric walked into a surprise retirement party. Even though Eric refuses to retire, Ridge tells him that he has no choice. This will lead to an epic feud between Ridge and Eric. It will also force everyone in the family, as well as at Forrester Creations, to pick sides. It seems that Ridge and Steffi Forrester Finnegan don't mean to hurt Eric. However, after his death last year, they don't want the job to kill him. So, expect Ridge to keep putting pressure on Eric to retire. Carter Walton was at the party, but this could put him in the middle of Eric and Ridge's feud. I wonder if Carter feels the same way as Daphne Rose, that this should be Eric's decision and no one else's? The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers. reveal that the next episode could have Deacon Sharp telling Sheila that she's not invited to the wedding. Instead of just accepting it and staying home, Sheila is full of rage. In a weekly preview clip, Deacon walks Hope Logan down the aisle as Sheila seemingly threatens Taylor. While nothing more has happened between Deacon and Taylor, Sheila could start to think otherwise. Being banned from Hope and Liam Spencer's wedding has seemed to cause Sheila to snap. Could Taylor actually be in grave danger, especially when Sheila accuses her of calling her crazy? It's going to be an action-packed week, so stay tuned. Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most on Monday, December 8th, 2025? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember to keep watching the soap on CBS or Paramount Plus to find out what happens next. Katie Logan has been as healthy as a horse for years on The Bold and the Beautiful, but longtime viewers know that she has always had heart issues. Over the years, Katie Logan's heart problems have been major storylines on the soap. On more than one occasion, we thought Heather Tom's character was getting killed off, but she made miraculous recoveries. Katie has been under a lot of pressure lately. Word on the internet is the writers are planning to revisit her medical issues, and she might even need heart surgery again. Are Brooke and Ridge to blame? Here's what's coming up next on Bold and Beautiful. Spoilers down below. When Katie learned that her son Will Spencer Jr. accidentally got Luna Nozawa pregnant, viewers speculated on social media that her heart problems were going to resurface. If her old ticker is failing again, it makes sense because of all of the stress that she has been under. Luckily, the Luna Nozawa situation was remedied on its own. Katie doesn't have to worry about playing grandma to Luna's baby or her son's future, but all is still not well. Now Katie Logan is out of a job and furious that Ridge Forrester replaced her at Forrester Creations while she was dealing with the Luna shenanigans. Brooke, Logan, and Ridge insist that they hired an outside PR team to give Katie a break and encouraged her to take more time off and be with her family after Luna's death. Usually, when your sister marries your boss, you have job security. It seems to be the other way around for Katie. B&B spoilers hint Katie Logan's heart can't take another heartbreak or any more stress. Will being replaced at FC be the final straw for Katie? Is she going to end up back in the hospital? The Bold and the Beautiful. Winter spoilers hint that things will certainly heat up as the weather cools down. Eric Forrester's health becomes an issue. Taylor Hayes and Deacon Sharp face temptation. Steffi Forrester and John Finnegan's relationship is put to the test. Eric and Ridge Forrester will clash over Forrester Creations, especially after the fallout from Luna Nozawa's death. Forrester is constantly being brought up along with Luna, and that bad publicity is not helping the company at all. Ridge and Eric will certainly clash over how to deal with this. However, Donna Forrester will open up to Brooke about Eric's health, and everyone will be concerned. Finn and Bridget Forrester managed to save him last time, but can they pull Eric through another health crisis? Will Eric survive whatever is going on with his health this time? Deacon will continue to have sessions with Taylor even though he has gone back to his wife. Sheila believes that Taylor saved her marriage to Deacon. Sheila has no idea that Deacon and Taylor have a much bigger connection than she knows. After all, Deacon and Taylor have been close since before she was found in the warehouse. Deacon and Taylor have a very hard time keeping their relationship professional when they keep getting closer on a personal level. Deacon has true feelings for Taylor, and Taylor is beginning to become very attracted to him as well. Will Deacon and Taylor hit the sheets before he and Sheila Sharp split? Will Sheila make good on her threats against Taylor? Steffi and Finn have had issues over his birth family from day one of their marriage. Finn was adopted and had always wanted a connection with his birth mother. However, when it came out that Sheila was his mom, Steffi and the whole Forrester family demanded he stay away from Sheila. Finn never got a chance to know her, and of course later, Sheila shot them. Now that Luna has been killed, Steffi and Finn will have issues again, because he never got to know his daughter and wasn't allowed around her either. Luna's death is also interfering with Forrester Creations as well. Can Finn and Steffi's marriage stand the stress of the fallout caused by Luna's death? Will their marriage ever be the same?